Detecting a site for the hidden object had gone pretty smoothly, and with the help of the pendulum I had pinpointed a location. Was I right? Terry and I had just driven 30 miles to the town of Narberth to find out. And then there was the psychic challenge. Although I hadn't been told what the hidden object was, Terry said he'd been trying to put images into my mind. I didn't know how they'd got there, but strangely I did have some ideas on what had been hidden.
Thinking about what leapt into my head, sort of maybe something that's a roundy shape, like a little pot or container or a clock. And the other thing that popped into my head was the copper. So that could have nothing to do with it at all. But since I've got a guess, that's what I'm going to go with. Great. Oh, hard not to be distracted, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, Jane.
Okay.
What we have to do
Where
now
do we start?
is to decide. We're in the shop.
Yep.
We know it's on one of the floors.
Okay.
We're going to ask, is it on the ground floor?
Right.
So you use the rods to do that.
To ask a question. Now, I've only ever watched other people do it with two, so it's my first go.
Okay.
But I think I know. So I'm looking for a yes or no answer, and so the no is if they go away from each other,
If
yeah?
they go away from
Okay.
each other, yeah.
And yes is if they cross, okay. So shall I ask out loud? Okay. Is the hidden object on this floor? Is the hidden object on this floor? That's looking like a no. Is that
That's
right?
a no.
Okay.
Unlike Jim, Terry used the more common two-rod system, which, as it turned out, worked in exactly the same way as Jim's one-rod method.
Now, X marks the spot.
So it was.
What you need to do is go and see if you were correct or not.
But I still don't know what the object was.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so here's the mantelpiece.
There's your location. Fireplace.
Fireplace.
Yeah.
Middle of the fireplace would be.
Now you've got to decide where it may be.
Should I be looking for something? Is it one of the visible objects or
Well,
something hidden?
What you can do is ask the rods, okay, to tell you if you're in the correct spot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just assuming for some reason that was correct. That's how much I trust you, Terry.
Just ask, is this the location of the object?
Am I correct? Is this the location?
Remember to start off
Okay,
with the rods
straight.
pointing to the front.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's it, that's great.
Is this the location of the hidden object? Is this the location of the hidden object? It's sort of going together.
It's saying yes.
It is
Now, do
saying
you believe it?
I kind of do, yeah.
You want to, but do you actually
Oh,
believe
I
it?
don't know. Let me ask again. Is that bad?
First answer is always the right answer. Always.
But was that the right answer for me?
Well, you're going to have to look, aren't you?
All right, okay.
Okay.
Thinking about what leapt into my head, sort of maybe something that's a roundy shape, little pot or container. If I move
Okay.
that, it's a little round chicken. Ooh.
Oh
So-
dear.
Ah,
What could that
there's
be?
a little hidden thing in the chicken. This is exciting.
Open it up and we'll see what it is.
The other thing that popped into my head was the copper. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. It says joy. My goodness. You know what's strange is when I was trying to guess what it might be, I said copper. And I know that
It's very similar.
it's close, isn't it? It's metal anyway.
Just think, you've
Wow,
sat 30 miles away and located something.
I'm really
Through your mind.
I'm startled. So that's why I've gone a bit quiet, because I'm just, wow. Wow.
There you go, Jane.
Wow, indeed. That did seem pretty amazing. And even though I wasn't sure I could embrace Terry's universal mind theory, I couldn't wait to tell my sceptical parapsychologist friend Kieran O'Keefe to see what he had to say.
I think the interesting thing to discuss is what sort of process is going on here.
Yeah.
You know, are we talking about some sort of psychic ability, and maybe you have some sort of idea where the object is, and that's manifested in the pendulum, or is
Maybe
it
I
the
was-
pendulum that knows where it is?
That's the question.
I just don't know.
I mean, I think what maybe clouded the issue for me was that the
fellow who was doing it with me knew where the item was.
Right,
But he
because
was,
that would have definitely had an issue. I mean, who knows what sort of cues he might be giving off that you're aware of or you're not aware of.
Sure.
You know, I mean, was he prompting you at all while you were doing this?
no, we were talking. I mean, I was saying, oh, is that it? Is it moving? And he was saying, yes, I think that's moving. And,
Right.
and so in a way there could have, without us realising it, been some interaction there. I mean, who knows? I mean, not deliberately, but
Sure.
maybe if I'd have been saying, is it moving? And it had been where he knew it wasn't, he might have, in his head, not seen the pendulum moving as
Right.
significantly to him.
If it is to do with some sort of paranormal process that's focused on the pendulum, then maybe doing it without you looking at the pendulum. You know, if it's just a factor of the dowser holding the pendulum and there being some sort of connection, if there's just a cover above the hand so that you can't see where it's going, and then maybe the map is moved around a few times just to confuse the matter even more, and that might be some sort of more controlled test, and certainly not having anybody around you who knows where the actual object is.
So that would be more of a scientific test.
Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow is my final dowsing challenge, and all I know about it is it's got something to do with water dowsing, which, nice that it's kind of back to basics. Often it feels like if I really don't know the answer, it doesn't seem to do it. I just don't know what the outcome is going to be. I'm a bit worried. But I think I'm prepared. I hope they're prepared. As I drove into the Essex village of Kelvedon, I nearly kept on going, so I wasn't sure if I was up to facing my biggest challenge so far. I was going to have to douse my way around someone's back garden in search of an ancient well, and then dig it out. This could so easily turn into a disaster. Oh my God, why are they letting me do this? This is insane. That they're actually going to let me dig a hole on their property. But depending on my dowsing, I'm sorry, I've just seen a bloke with a huge drill. There's an actual huge drill. And I just don't know what to do. I don't know what, I mean, I could end up just digging holes all over their property. I could drop through a cable or something. I could black out the whole of Chelmsford. Why they're letting me do this, I don't know. But before I started drilling holes in someone's backyard, I met up again with Vicky and her fellow dowser John. They had already prepared a map of the site where the well was hidden, and thanks to my map dowsing experience with Terry, I knew what to do next. How? Okay. Right, going this way first. My hand's shaking so much. Okay, it sort of started moving.
There you are.
About there.
Yeah.
And now it's
starting to speed up.
yeah.
You've just gone a bit past it, I think.
Have I? Yeah.
I think that's the most gyration, isn't it?
It looked like quite a lot.
If you leave the ruler there, we'll put a line across there.
Cheers, John. Great.
And now do it the other way.
Okay.
See if you can pick up the cross-reference point.
I mean, it does help if you can visualise.
The well. I was just going.
I think John and me are putting you off.
No, don't worry. I think it's more there. It's definitely more there.
Okay, just put a mark there. Now go from right to left. Work back the other way.
Okay.
And just see what happens.
I'll put a little mark there. I was getting conflicting messages from the pendulum. I'd got a really strong response on the horizontal line, but the cross-reference was a lot harder to pin down. Maybe there were several wells, or one really wide one.
And then you can confirm it with the small
Might
rod.
be there. Can we dig 4 holes? If it's under the garage, we've had it, haven't we? Okay, okay, yeah. That felt really quite
strongly
violent.
there.
So I am going to go with that last mark we made, which
Okay.
is worryingly near the garage. We left the relative safety of dangling crystals and maps and headed for the real world of Chris's back garden. But before we went any further, I thought I'd better just check one thing.
Were you sure that there was a well here? Just before we start.
We have a well marked on a bill of sale for 1850, but that's the earliest we can come up with a date for it, but obviously it must go back further than that.
Right.
But we'd not like to know where it is.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best. Are you a believer in dowsing? Presumably.
I don't know. If you find a well, I might be.
Anti-clockwise. We'll
Using the
follow
rod
progress
Jim
of
made
interest.
for me, I set off in search of the well. The readings I was getting were strangely similar to the reactions and positions I'd been getting on the map. And spookily, while one line was strong, just like the map, finding the exact spot was proving harder.
It's pointed just about a metre further down.
You had this line going
John
across
suggested
here.
that I changed over to using his 2 heavy-duty dowsing rods, so I did, and I followed the course of the first line I'd drawn on the map.
That right down on
Okay.
there like that.
Please cross when I get over the well. Okay, it's kind of crossing here.
These rods had crossed in a pretty decisive kind of way, but I still thought I'd better just double-check before I started drilling holes all over Chris's garden.
Oh,
Right.
they've I didn't notice they'd crossed. Well, I mean, this is exactly the same horizontal line
Yeah.
that was on the map. It's a bit further out than our vertical line, but
Yeah.
I suppose I'd better just trust that it crosses. I mean, otherwise we could be here all day.
If the rod's crossed at that point, trust them.
All right, Keith. I think I'm gonna pick here. This could be the first of many holes. I look good.
But then, 5 minutes later, things didn't look good at all.
Yeah, just broken my nail now. Yeah, that wasn't good. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think someone. Can we have a boy, please? So extraordinarily, it looks like we might have found the right spot. Unfortunately, the drill's not working. So typical. But we haven't found any water. But it does look like there was some sort of hole there before, which I can't quite believe. I look like they're giving up. That's not a good sign.
With no power tools to play with, the boys quickly decided that banging a big pole into the ground was almost as good.
Very wet soil now.
Yeah.
They'd been bitten by a bug that made them feel that the water might just be another couple of inches further down.
I don't think we're going to be able to use the mallet on this one.
Just push a long enough pole down far enough, then water would come gushing out like crude in a Texas oil field.
That's an unbelievably long pole. Wow, that's really going down.
Look.
Man.
But then, with a 12-foot pole driven into the ground, everything came to a halt again.
Oh dear.
You're not going to find water tonight.
God! I'm trying! I can't tell. Oh, okay, that was hopeless. Well, now we've got the pole stuck in the ground, which is lovely. I mean, you were saying, Keith, it seems like we wouldn't have been able to get down this far if it was just normal ground. Seriously?
Yeah.
I'm exhausted now.
Well, it's been hard work.
That's rather. I thought dowsing was a nice, peaceful wandering around the countryside with sticks. I didn't know it was going to involve digging. Thank you all very much. Chris, I'm sorry to have done this to your back garden, but I hope it yields well eventually.
Well, I hope so too.
You'll let us know, won't you?
I've got this to get out yet, haven't I?
Yeah.
I was really disappointed that we had to stop work. I left frustrated that I might never know if I was right or wrong. But a week later, Chris called in a specialist well-digging bloke who dug deeper and found, well, it wasn't quite squirting water, but it was undoubtedly the walls of an old well. Yes!